If you're a car enthusiast, the name Corvette probably makes you think of speed, power, and freedom. But few remember that it all started with a small car, born in 1953, in an era when Americans were still in love with big sedans and workhorse trucks. This car wasn't loud, it wasn't about brute force, yet it opened an entirely new chapter in American automotive history. Imagine yourself at GM's 1953 Motorama show, walking towards Chevrolet's display stand and seeing a two-seat fiberglass-bodied sports car gleaming under the lights, like something out of a dream. Today, we're going back in time to explore the car that laid the very first brick in the Corvette legend. In the early 1950s, America was enjoying post-war prosperity. New interstate highways were opening, and drivers wanted more than just a way to commute. At the same time, European sports cars, MGT-DS, Jaguar XK120S, Triumph TR2S, were becoming increasingly popular, offering an entirely new driving experience, light, agile, and engaging. They captured the hearts of young Americans and returning veterans who had tasted the thrill of nimble vehicles overseas. General Motors saw a gap in the market. They needed a purely American sports car to keep customers in the Chevrolet showroom instead of losing them to imports. Harley Earl, GM's head of design, proposed building a two-seat car with lightweight construction, sleek styling, and just enough luxury to feel premium. The 1953 Motorama show became the perfect stage for its debut. Crowds lined up to see the gleaming white roadster with its black soft top and bright red interior. The reaction confirmed that Chevrolet had struck the right emotional chord. The first thing that strikes you about the Corvette is its fiberglass body, a groundbreaking decision for its time. GM wasn't just experimenting with a new material, they were pioneering a completely new direction for automotive manufacturing. Fiberglass allowed Corvette to feature smooth, flowing curves that would have been difficult to achieve with stamped steel. It also kept the car's weight down to about 2,900 pounds, giving it a compact, athletic stance compared to the oversized American sedans of the day. At the front, the car sports a shark-tooth chrome grille, flanked by deeply set round headlights, giving it a look that's both friendly and slightly mischievous. The long hood and pointed nose create a sense of motion, even when parked. A character line runs gracefully from the front fender down the side, ending at the rounded tail lamps, a touch that feels almost Italian in its elegance. Steel wheels with chrome hubcaps and wide white-wall tires add a touch of class. The folding soft top turns the Corvette into a true roadster. Every 1953 model was finished in polo white, making them instantly recognizable and giving them a unique, almost concept car aura. Step inside the Corvette, and you're greeted with a cabin that feels focused and intimate, a sharp contrast to the roomy American sedans of the era. The bright red leather interior stands out against the polo white exterior, immediately giving the car a sporty character. The dashboard is clean and symmetrical, featuring a large central speedometer, flanked by smaller gauges for oil pressure, water temperature, and fuel level. This layout keeps the driver informed at a glance. A large three-spoke steering wheel, floor-mounted shifter, and simple chrome-trimmed switches give the cabin a mechanical, purposeful feel. A standard AM radio and heater added a touch of luxury that few sports cars of the day could offer. The cockpit is snug, just enough for two occupants, making every bump and vibration part of the experience. Open the Corvette's long hood, and you'll find the 235 cubic inch blue flame Inline 6, a bold choice for Chevrolet's very first sports car. Tuned with 3 Carter YH carburetors and a hotter camshaft, it produced 150 horsepower. Still based on a sedan engine, the Blue Flame offered smoothness and reliability, qualities Chevrolet knew American buyers would appreciate. The 2-speed Powerglide automatic might disappoint purists, but it made the Corvette easier to drive than its European rivals, which often required skillful gear changes. This made the Corvette a unique hybrid, a sports car you could enjoy on a Sunday drive without it being exhausting. Driving a Corvette feels like an adventure. The engine fires up with a smooth hum. Throttle response is gentle, but once the speed climbs, the thrill is real. The twin exhaust gives off a warm, steady note that matches every push of the pedal. With no power steering or disc brakes, every action is deliberate. The big steering wheel takes effort in corners, and the drum brakes force you to plan your stops. Ironically, these challenges are what make the experience engaging. The Corvette demands that you work with it, learn its rhythm, and eventually become part of the car. But reality quickly poured cold water on Corvette's dream. After the initial Motorama excitement, the first production cars reached customers, and problems began to surface. Priced at nearly $3,500, the Corvette was one of Chevrolet's most expensive models, costing about the same as a Cadillac Series 62. That alone turned many buyers away. Then came performance. Even with its tuned Blue Flame i6, the Corvette couldn't match the speed of a Jaguar XK120 or even some cheaper Ford V8s. The press labeled it a boulevard sports car, suggesting it was better for cruising than racing. With only a 2-speed Powerglide, acceleration felt limited, leaving speed-hungry drivers disappointed. Hand-built production also meant inconsistent quality. Some cars had doors that didn't shut properly, windshields that leaked, and paint that looked uneven on the fiberglass body. For buyers spending top dollar, these flaws were hard to ignore. GM realized Corvette's future was in serious jeopardy. Only 300 units were sold in its first year, and some dealers had to display Corvettes like museum pieces just to attract buyers. Inside GM, there were discussions about canceling the car entirely. The newborn American sports car was staring at extinction after just 1 year. To keep the Corvette alive, Chevrolet knew they had to do more than just tweak the car. They had to turn it into an icon. One of their smartest moves was making the Corvette the official pace car for the 1953 Indianapolis 500. Seeing the gleaming white roadster leading the pack of Indy racers left a powerful impression. Corvette now meant speed and competition. Chevrolet also began promoting Corvette as more than a car. It was a lifestyle. Posters, brochures, and dealer displays presented Corvette as the car for freedom-loving Americans. Dealerships hosted special events, drawing crowds just to get a glimpse of the new sports car, even if they couldn't afford one yet. Most importantly, GM began gathering feedback from test drivers and racers. Early performance testing revealed that the Corvette had real potential if given more power. This insight set the stage for a critical decision: fitting the car with a V8 engine and turning Corvette into a machine ready for the track. And all of these efforts came from a Russian-born engineer, Zora Arcus-Dunto. He joined General Motors at the very moment when Corvette's fate was uncertain. After his first drive, Zora immediately spotted the problem. The Corvette had potential, but it lacked real power and the spirit of a true sports car. He did something bold. He sent an internal memo directly to GM management, warning that the Corvette would not survive unless its engine and performance were significantly improved. GM listened, and Zora was soon tasked with leading the transformation of the Corvette into a proper sports car. Under his guidance, key changes were made. The suspension was refined for better handling, the Blue Flame engine was further improved in the short term, and most importantly, plans were laid to introduce a V8 engine in 1955. But Zora's vision went beyond horsepower. He wanted Corvette to prove itself on the racetrack. He pushed for the car to compete at events like Sebring, showcasing to the world what an American sports car could do. Thanks to Zora's vision, the Corvette shed its showpiece image and began its journey toward becoming a true performance icon. He not only saved Corvette from extinction, but also built the foundation for its legacy as America's sports car. As the Corvette began proving itself on the racetrack, it also started stepping beyond the world of enthusiasts and into mainstream American culture. In the 1950s, sports cars were still seen as something European. But Corvette changed that perception. Suddenly, Americans could proudly say they had their own homegrown roadster, built in Detroit, with American style, value, and spirit. The Corvette appeared in ads, magazines, and soon found its way onto the silver screen as a symbol of freedom. Photographs of young couples driving Corvettes along the coast or down Route 66 made the entire country dream of an open-road lifestyle. Corvette wasn't just transportation, it became a four-wheeled dream, something many Americans hope to own at least once in their lives. Today, with only 300 units produced, all painted in polo white with bright red interiors, the 1953 Corvette has become a collector's treasure. Auction prices often climb into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and even higher for pristine examples. Owning a 1953 Corvette isn't just owning a car, it's holding a piece of history, the very start of an American legend. There's something truly special about seeing a 1953 Corvette in person. It's smaller than you expect, simpler than the fire-breathing Corvettes that followed, but that simplicity is what reminds us that every legend starts with a first step. Tentative, but bold. Maybe that's why the 1953 Corvette still stirs emotions today. It isn't just a car. It's a story about ambition, about America's belief that it could build a sports car to rival the world. And that legacy is still alive every time a brand new Corvette rolls off the line. Now it's your turn. Tell us what you think in the comments. What are your thoughts on the very first Corvette? If you had the chance, would you take a seat behind the wheel of one of the 300 surviving cars? Hit that like button if you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the channel so we can bring you more legendary car stories, and ring the bell so you won't miss the next video, where we'll dive into the moment Corvette got its very first V8 engine, transforming it from a pretty roadster into America's speed icon. Share this video with your fellow gearheads so we can keep the Corvette legend alive together. You are part of the story that keeps this icon rolling through history.